So to show you guys, there is just a crazy amount of ways you can use Keepa Product Finder. Right here, this is where I was talking about, like, you play around with sales ranks. There's certain ways to do that, to show trends. Right here, this is a new feature of Keepa Product Finder. You can actually go back to historical sales ranks. So you could use this, like if you're searching, let's say you want to know this Valentine's Day, what was good last year in Valentine's Day, you could actually play around with that. You can filter it down by your pricing. I forgot to include that in my text. But this is buy box, and I can tell you for us influencers, the buy box, if there is no buy box, it's not going to show here. And a suppressed buy box, which is where some of us, you guys see, it shows up unavailable, I should say. Dramatically can change sales. And I'll give an actual example from my e-com business. I had a food product that when it had the buy box, I was selling it for $9.99, and I was selling around 300 a day, which was absolutely insane. They pulled the buy box, Amazon did, which meant the buyers had to go an extra click or two to get to it. I went from selling 300 a day to selling around 3 to 5 units a week. And that's with lowering my price $3 down to $6.99 from $9.99. And I still couldn't get the buy box to trigger back. So if you're searching, that's going to be a big one, from a customer standpoint, just to get more purchases. That could be something. We're actually, especially if we're looking at creator campaigns, this Amazon one here, this is actually going to be where, if Amazon is selling it, so you're not going to probably get any creator connections campaigns, because I don't know if I've ever seen Amazon actually have a creator campaign. Because remember, the key is with the creator campaigns, you only get that bonus money if it's actually sold or shipped by the company that actually set up the campaign. New pricing, this here again, if you just want to do pricing but not for a buy box, you can actually play around with third party, whether it's FBA, FBM, Prime exclusive, lightning deals, buy box used. I wouldn't get into the used category much. Warehouse deals, again, if you're trying to search for something to find product at better deals, or even you could use this like right here, refurbished. You're trying to show off a used product and get it at a better price than the new product. That would be a key thing there. Rentals, trades, really wouldn't get into this. You can search eBay stuff, so I guess technically you could start looking if you wanted to buy from eBay and find some deals there. I would tell you just go over to eBay if you're going to do that. This is where you can actually start searching by categories and filtering it down. So you can actually, is it one of these categories? So if I start to type in, like I used to for e-com, I'd be doing a lot of grocery. So I can actually then select grocery. And then that would include, I can add more categories that I want to go into. And then from there, it's going to allow me to do various, see if I can get anything like pudding or anything. So like I could actually search it then to pudding. I can actually exclude categories. So if you're searching for, again, if you're looking to go to specific categories, you're selling trash cans really well, so you want to find trash cans, but you want certain types versus other types, you could search it. And then you can actually here type in keywords. So like if you wanted vanilla, you could do that. Again, back to pudding, that was our category, not trash cans. Maybe a vanilla trash can, I don't know. So down here, this is where you can get into all sorts of different, and there's even more if I scroll over here. Brands, product groups, sizes, scents, colors, store URLs. I mean, there's more information than you can filter you could even imagine here. And something I'll kind of show my phone. As you're doing the filtering here, you're actually going to see over here on the side, this is a live number that's actively showing you how many products it's found during that time frame. So you actually could see like, oh, nope, I'm still like right now 6,000 units. That's not narrowed down enough. Offer counts. Again, this is more e-com side of the world. You can see how many people are selling it. But if you're looking for something that's probably just brand selling, this is where you'd change it from like total offer count from 1 to 2 units, because you definitely want to make sure it's in stock. And the reason, if you're searching for just one brand, the way I'm saying 1 to 2, because it's possible that they're both doing FBA and FBM, or if you're just wanting to look, search it from 1 to 1, and then you're just going to see that brand stuff. But there's all sorts. You can just averages. Again, more of this is the e-com side of the world. I'm trying to scroll through and see. So down here, buy box seller, again, there are ways to search, multiple different ways to search by your actual companies that are selling and their names. Buy box switches, if it's FBA, unqualified, pre-orders. So if you wanted to, let's say you're trying to get ahead of the game on something, see what's upcoming, you could change it to the pre-orders. If something's really hot, maybe it's back ordered, is it a Prime exclusive? Again, then or Prime eligible. But again, if it's Prime exclusive, then you're probably not going to see any CCs. You got a subscribe and save feature there. Kind of go back across here. Again, some of this is more going to be used for e-com. Let's see. Again, there's some used stuff for buy box. Seller IDs, this is where once you find the seller ID, you can actually search by them. Again, like I said, there's multiple ways you can pull up the seller idea here, or ID, and look for sellers. Here, if you're trying to search, like if you're doing ebooks, digital products, or physical products, you can select those. If you want listings that have variations or no variations, you can search it there. You can actually do some stuff to search with the actual ASIN. Here's where you can search, like, do they have images from the brand and how many? So, like, this would be an interesting way. And right here also, look at this, video count. That's pretty awesome right there. And we'll hover over. So, number of images and product variations available. So this is a key area right here. I'll highlight that at the 7-minute mark. You can kind of see that. But this is where you're going to be able to kind of filter it and go, okay, is there the videos I'm looking for? There's a few other areas, I believe, for that. You can search, again, pricing, like we talked about. When did it come out? Publications. You can also search here, like, you don't want to go buying something that's super out of stock all the time. So you could filter it down. Is this out of stock 90% of the time? I don't want to get it because I'm going to make videos and it's not going to be there. If you don't want Amazon on the brand, I've got some big ticket items that the company not only sells themselves, but they sell it direct to Amazon, then Amazon sells it. I only make, like I said, my CC when Amazon, or when the brand or the seller sells it. So maybe I want to make sure that Amazon's not selling on the listing and undercutting the seller, and then I don't get it. Sales rank drops, again, we can play with this to kind of find some trending stuff there. This one right here, this is another huge portion of both the e-com and the AIP side. So if something minus books will never show it, at least currently as I'm making this video. If anything sells more than 50 a month or more, you can actually type it in there and you can search it. So if I want something that's only selling at least 5,000 a month, and let's go to our vanilla pudding, just kind of our example I was using there with what filters. There's currently no vanilla pudding selling that much. But if we were to go 50, because that's the minimum for bought in a month, and we scroll over, we're going to see there's actually 36 vanilla puddings that have sold more than 50. So you can play around with that. That's going to be the minimum side, but like if you wanted 500, then you could play there. This is a key one if you're trying to look for products that are actively selling. Or the other way, you can actually search from 0 to 49. Just because the item isn't hitting 50 doesn't mean it's not selling and not a good item. You can play around with the percentage change and monthly. You can see here, is the return rate low or high? Again, if something's high, you can use this, look at it two ways. You could actually look at this as, I don't want to buy it because it's constantly getting returned and I'm not going to get full credit. Or you could look at, why is it getting returned? Do they have bad videos? Are the videos not covering why it's actually having issues? And so maybe you make videos solving those problems and you could work out a deal, or you could reach out to the brand because you did the filters here and you see they have high returns. You reach out to the brand and you say, hey, I see you have a high return rate. I can help you. Send me some sample products. Let me do some videos. You can also here, if you want to search on items that are currently selling, and you want to only hit a certain rating or number of ratings. Again, in the e-com world, we kind of look at reviews and ratings. It's always kind of been, at one time was accepted if they had 100, then, or for every one rating review, it kind of equated roughly to 100 sales. That's about what we saw feedback left on stuff. But now with that bought in the past month, you actually don't. That's not as crucial, but you can see there. So there's various ways here. No Amazon offer exists. Amazon offer is a pre-order. Again, that pre-order could be something if you're looking ahead of time. Amazon offering shipping is delayed, just some various things. Again, you can see this is some of the e-com stuff with the pick and pack fees. If you're only wanting to do certain size items or weights, you can play around with that. Again, I think that's going to be more of an e-com side. Here's where you can actually search for deals and stuff. They do have a deal section in Keepa, so that in itself right there would be something you can look at. Are there coupons? Here's another way if you want to look at trying to buy stuff, or if you're looking for off-site deal, possibly you can actually look at that. You could search for percentage deals here, so that could be a way to get it bigger. I highly recommend, if you don't already have an Amazon business account, doesn't have to be a Prime account. Amazon business accounts are free. You can actually get better pricing from sellers on that. Whole lot of other, they call them switches here, but filters. Again, we don't always need perfect brand new items in the AIP program for our videos. So you can play around. Here is Amazon renewed, so you could actually search for that. Map restrictions, we really don't have that in the US. That refers to minimum pricing. Here's a key one. Look at this. Has a main video. Whether the product has main video, part of the product image carousel. Look at that huge one right there. Has A+ content. Whether the product has A+ content. Whether the video is from, the A+ is from the manufacturer. Again, there's some battery things. Down here at the end, we actually have one for hazmat. I'll have to scroll over to see that right there. So you can filter it. Again, it's a little bit trickier with the hazmat stuff to sell it. Whether it's heat sensitive, this falls into meltable season. If you're not aware, as e-commerce sellers, we can only FBA heat sensitive, or we refer to it as meltable season, select times of the year FBA. The rest of the times we have to get into FBM. Here's another key one. This is probably one that's more important for AIP, and that's going to be adults only products. Trade-in eligible, merch on demand. And that is wrapping it up on all your stuff.